Hello and welcome to Scotland Study Centre. Recently, Scotland Study Centre went to visit Burns's cottage in Alloway. This is the birthplace of Robert Burns, Scotland's national poet. And today I would like to tell you a little about what we learned about Burns, mainly about how he was a great humanitarian and also a great romantic. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the video. When we arrived in Alloway, we first went to the Robert Burns Birthplace Museum. The most interesting thing we learned was that the traditional image of Robert, as shown in a famous portrait, is not realistic. At the University of Dundee, they reconstructed Robert's head based on a copy of his skull. As you can see, his actual head seems to have been much larger than is traditionally depicted. After leaving the museum, we went to Burns's cottage, the place where Robert Burns was born. The cottage was very pretty with a thatched roof. Inside, we saw many interesting artefacts. Robert and his family led a very simple kind of life. After the cottage, we all got a lift on the museum trolley and it stopped at the statue of a mouse. This statue is to commemorate one of Robert's poems. Robert wrote poems about both the important and the ordinary events in his life. And what's interesting about his poems is that they deal with universal themes, such as a relationship with nature, equality and love. Burns's poem To a Mouse was written when he was ploughing a field one day and he frightened the mouse and destroyed its home with his plough. Burns apologised to the mouse and he compared the mouse's life with his own and with the lives of humans in general. We sleekit cowrin timorous beastie, oh what a panic's in thy breastie. Thou wouldna start awa sae hasty with bickering brattle. I would be laith to run and chase thee with murder and prattle. I'm truly sorry man's dominion has broken nature's social union and justifies that ill opinion which makes thee startle at me, thy poor earth-born companion and fellow mortal. So Robert was a lover of nature, and as I said, he was also a great lover and he wrote some very romantic poems. One was to his wife Jean Armour. It's very famous and it's called A Red, Red Rose. Oh my love's like a red, red rose that's newly sprung in June. Oh my love's like a melody that's sweetly played in tune. As fair art thou, my bonny lass, sae deep in love am I, and I will love thee still, my dear, till all the seas gang dry. Robert Burns died in 1796 after a long illness, and today there are more monuments to Burns in the world than there are to any other poets. We all had a really interesting time in Alloway and I hope that you can join us on our next trip.